After all the fun and excitement we had last year at CES, Bluetti decided to invite Jeff Hagan and I to CES 2025 again in Vegas. It was quite the thing. 140,000 people supposedly were in attendance. Hi friends, I'm at the Las Vegas Convention Center. You can see front lobby here, all this down behind me. Show's about to start. Let's go see what's inside. Alright, so Bluetti had a quite primo position right near the front entrance of the North Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center. You can see here Jackery was right in the front row, and then somebody else, and then Bluetti, and then All Powers was behind him. I did a little circle of everything. Oh look, there's Ilya. Okay, I'm going to do a quick video tour here of the Bluetti booth at CES 2025. It is a much larger booth than last year. No treehouse, just a big footprint. It's Elite 200. We have a DJ. There's apparently going to be a contest involving dancing and getting prizes. Around here is the outdoor products, backpack, multi-cooler, hands-free 1, hands-free 2, charger 1, AC 180T and multi-cooler. P-Series, 240p 200 Premium. That's a new one. So the brand new Elite 200 V2 has a premium version. Here's the 180p that we're already aware of. Oh look, it's a wild Mr. Hagan. Normal units. This is something brand new. EnergyPro 6K, a wall mount, 5760 watts, 7.68 kilowatt hour. Let's see if I can get into the specs there, enough to read. Feel free and pause this. So wall mount home energy storage. Here's the main area. And look who we have here. We have Tim, Ilya. We're doing our walkthrough. Brand new EP1300. It's a shame it's behind plexiglass and you can't get a good photo of it.
I know.
This is the new split phase 120/240. It is almost exactly the same size as the AC300. Same expansion ports, same battery ports. It will take the B300K, it will take the B300, it will take the B300S. The difference is on this side. You got 120/240 in and out. Neat. So that's the interior space here. Let's go around the side and continue. This is the blank wall. And here we have the EPs. Here's also brand new EnergyPro 13K. So this is a 13,000 watt, 13.2 kilowatt single unit version of the EP800, 900, 760 series, all those. And it is parallelable. So up to 36.9 kilowatts with multiple head units in parallel. Very neat. The EnergyPro 6K again.
So it's kind of like there's different reasons.
And we're back to the front. Alright, so let's start with the star of the show here, the EP1300. It is 3,840 watts. Same capacity as battery as the B300K, but it is built into the head unit, 2,764 watt hours, 2.7 kilowatt hours built into the head unit. 1,200 watt max solar input at 60 volts, 20 amps. And it only has one battery expansion port. Oh, by the way, that solar input, that is times 2, so you get 2,400 watts of solar input. You just got the 4 NEMA 1520 combos on the front, but they're half are from one side, half are from the other. You've got 120 volt, 15 amp regular C13 input, high amp 120 only output, and a high amp 120 240 output. And then under that far left flapper is a brand new custom port that I'm not allowed to show you yet, but it incorporates in, out, and some data lines that are meant for this combiner, I think it's called A1 hub box I'm going to show you next. Very nice current modern display and a selectable switch that I would assume works like a generator and combines the inverters. So here's the hub. It has a 50 amp output, L1430 output, 50 amp input, and you can parallel up to 3 of those Elite 300s on it. And those Elite 300s can take up to 6 batteries. So that is 6 B300Ks, I would assume 6 B300Ss, and you're more than likely subject to the standard limit of the B300s, which would be 4, and that's all in addition to those built into the head unit. So combine 3 of those maxed out in parallel into that hub box. Alright, let's take a look at the app integration for the Apex 300. I'm told this is still under development, so it's not, quite all there. It has an alarm on the unit, but it's got the UPS modes. It's currently in custom UPS. Notice it says self-consumption backup. Those are EP series nomenclature, so that's a little different. Yeah, screen sleep options. Same as normal. You've got 2 different max charging or max input currents. I assume one is pass-through and one is battery charging. There's a charging station option that has to do with EV bidirectionality. You can choose phase voltage being 208 or 240. You've got some DC input configuration options. So it looks like you can pull the full 20 amps at lower voltages if you select it as such. It has the new system switch recovery that the Elite 200 V2 has. It also has a child lock function. I'm just paging through everything here. Yeah, child lock is new. Very interesting.
So this is what it will look like again. Do you guys like our design? How they look? Yeah? Okay. So now the cool thing about Apex is that it's both 240 volts and 120 volts. Now I know we have some people from Europe here and they're like, whatever, because in Europe it's all 240 volts. But for America it's a big deal, okay? So 240 volts, 48 amps, and up to 11.52 kilowatts of output. Again, you can connect 3 of them together and 6 batteries for each. Okay, now, it's a big number. I know it is. I was skeptical about it. Let me clarify it for you guys. So, the maximum input PV from solar panels and AC and from the wall outlet or other AC source can be as high as 30,720 watts. Okay? Very high. For those who doesn't know, it's very high. Okay. Now, it's also world's smartest 120 volt to 140 volt off-grid portable. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Okay, portable energy solution. Now, many people ask us, what is the difference between a generator and a power station like ours? Some people hate generators. We have to wipe them out from the face of Earth. Well, I say, obviously, I imagine nobody likes generators. Nobody's enjoys oh, power outage. Fine, I can use my generator. Let me fill that gas. All right, let's go. Boom, boom. Oh, yeah. Nobody really likes it. If you in an environment where it's not sunny and you have in the middle of a storm, you really appreciate gas generator, I think. So what you can do with a gas generator. By the way, how many of you guys have a gas generator? Raise your hand. Yeah. All right, a few. So is it loud when you run it? Is it loud? Yeah, somewhat, especially at night, right? So what you can do instead is you can charge these power stations from our gas generator. It will take you an hour, and then you can use them for the whole night. So at least you don't have to run your gas generator at night, right? So instead of just being at war, they can work together. When the weather is really bad and if you don't have any solar panels, you can just use your generator to charge these, and it will take you an hour or two, and you can run them for the whole night. Okay? And more than that, of course, depending on what you're running and depending on if you have any solar input and how many of those you have. Okay, so now guys, something really cool happened. We were able to extend our longevity. Not our longevity, but longevity of our products. Before, it was 3,500 cycles to 4,000 cycles, which is 10 years of runtime. Even if you run one full cycle every single day, meaning if you discharge it and charge it every single day, you still got 10 years, a long time. Now you have 6,000 cycles. So guys, do me a favor, whoever has a calculator on their phone, okay, let's do math together, all right? I'll do it with you. I hope the microphone doesn't hate my phone. Okay, so let's do this.
20 years.
All right, you just ruined everything. All right, so 6,000 divided by 365.25, because you want to account for that leap year. Okay, so I've got 16.4. 16.4 years. That's if you run one full cycle every single day, and you don't forget about that leap year. It has 366 days, okay? You don't skip any days, you still have 16.4 years, a long time. But that's provided you take good care of it, so you don't leave it, discharged somewhere. You come 2 months later, you're like, can we still be friends, right? So that provided you take good care of it. 17 years, 16.4, 17 years.
So I apologize for the poor resolution. This is a shot I extracted from the presentation that Ilya gave that I recorded there. But this showcases the new 90-degree cable jumpers that Bluetti is introducing along with the EP1300. There were not any of these available at the show, so this is as good as we have right now. I think everybody is going to really like what this does for cable management. So here's a closer look at the EnergyPro 6K sort of power wall introduced at the show. 5.76 kilowatt native 120/240 split phase, 24 amp continuous current. Here is the paralleling slash interface slash islanding box. You can connect up to 5 of these EnergyPro 6Ks together. Notice the 200 amp breaker, 200 amp pass-through current. So you could put this in place of or in front of your main panel and run your whole house off of up to 5 of these EnergyPro 6Ks. 7.68 kilowatt hours each. It's a monster. And then we'll take a quick look at the EnergyPro 13K again. This is the larger version of the largest, newest version of the EP series. 13.2 kilowatts. You can put up to 3 of these in parallel for 39.6 kilowatts of inverter, and each one will take 4 batteries for a total of 9.6 kilowatt hours for a single head unit, or up to 57.6 kilowatt hours for 3 head units. And this single head unit has a 200 amp pass-through, so you can put your whole house on this guy. So a little closer look at the DJ here. He's running his laptop and turntable off of this Premium 200. The laptop was running off of the Type-C, and the turntable was running off the 120. We later corrected that so the display was always on, but this single Premium 200 ran his stuff for the entire show. I don't believe it got charged, because every time I looked at it, it was ticking down the battery just a little bit more. And Bluetti won some awards for CES 2025. Top Pick USA Today. Apparently this was all for the Swap Solar ecosystem. Honoree in home appliances and sustainability in energy and power. So here we are behind the scenes in the Bluetti booth. Their incoming power failed. So what did we do? Ilya grabbed a Elite 200 and plugged all of the gear that is running this portion of the booth into it. This is the presentation video wall and the PC running the presentation. Show me another vendor that does that. This is what it is running. All these lights, the screen. Okay, now on to other things I saw in the show. These robotics people were sort of the hit of the hall. They had a huge crowd around them for these robots. I'm not so sure. Honestly, it was all pretty creepy to me. They just didn't seem right. So CES just goes on and on and on. There are at least a dozen show halls this big, maybe even more. There is all sorts of gaming and flight simulators, car simulators, you name it. So EcoFlow had a nice display area here with power stations and things. They had well, you've heard of the solar hat, which you can see on that mannequin back there. They also had a solar cloak, like a jacket sort of thing, but more of a poncho, and they had a solar umbrella. So here's inside their little van mock-up where they've got their little portable Powerwall mini van off-grid cabin install system. I hear it's pretty nice.
This one
Yeah, you've seen the flying cars. How about this? It's a flying motorcycle. Yeah. So in the spirit of half the things in the show being labeled with AI, this is, I think, some sort of Hisense presentation where they're showing what they think the inside of an AI data center is supposed to be. It was honestly quite confusing to me, but there were a lot of lights and flashy things all over, that's for sure. A lot of moving displays. I recommend you take all your ocular seizure meds before you go into the TV area. So in keeping with last year, Sony had a massive exhibit area that was probably about 2 acres. So I thought this was pretty neat. These Powerfoil company has solar cells, low light power producing solar cells that they're integrating into products. There's a bike helmet, they have TV remotes, headphones, earbuds, It's pretty, I think this is going to be a thing. I think this is going to be a real big thing.
I remember. You remember? Yes, because I don't know.
And of course I visited the Yoshino booth. Not a whole lot going on. Maybe later in the day, maybe later in the week. I don't know, but very sparsely manned. Nice looking folder. Power stations. I didn't see anything I didn't see last year. These guys also seem to have a lot of attention. This little guy marching back and forth. If you want a serious power station, take a look at this trailer. 30 kilowatt inverter, 90 kilowatts of lithium phosphate battery on there, 1200 watts of solar on the roof, just to sort of augment the runtime. They're using it for concerts and all sorts of stuff, but check this out. They're just standard rack packs. They're the big ones, the 15 kilowatts. This was kind of neat. Solar tinting and transparent solar cells. The idea is you could put these, this is the solar cell right here, you could put this on the outside window skin of like a high-rise skyscraper and make power and have your window tinting at the same time. Then they also made a darkening film, so I'm touching the solar cell tier to it. I needed a little help. Yeah, here he comes. Touch the solar cell to this film, even under indoor light, and it blacks out. So you could make offices with solar cell tinting windows all in one unit, no external power needed. I couldn't help but capture this. You can get 50-pound bags of fish powder. I checked. Google in the US has no idea that this place exists.
Years ago that did something like this. Sorry.
Camo solar cells covering a Cybertruck. Not sure I'd go for that. Anchor had quite the thing going on. Lots of traffic, lots of stuff. Oh, apparently I was mistaken. It's not EcoFlow. It's Anchor that has the solar umbrella, and that must mean they're the ones that have the solar cloak, as I call it here, coming up next. Yep, there it is. So many vendors. Hard to keep anything straight. It's I'm not sure what to think of it. Pecron had a good amount of stuff out on display. This unit here on the table, the F5000, looked pretty interesting.
That's a lot of USB on that one.
And the next unit was an empty shell. Notice none of these seem to be powered on. Oukatel had a good amount of stuff out on display. You can see their little lineup here. Lots of pamphlets. The interesting thing is that unit in the back there, stackable batteries, and each battery had a power gauge.
Very cool.
So Vatrer was displaying this new to them 5,000 watt stackable inverter system. I didn't catch how many batteries you can put on it, but there's their 100 amp hour rack mount pack, and they have a wall version now. If you've ever wrapped a few pallets by hand, I think you'd appreciate the genius of this. So Jackery had a pretty flashy booth and a lot going on. They were 2 doors down from Bluetti. Seemed pretty popular.
As close as they can in real time.
So you see America's Test Kitchen is filming a segment here as they're stir frying on the stove, and it's not plugged into anything. It has a 5 kilowatt hour LFP pack in the base of it, and the whole thing runs off a standard NEMA 515. It's programmed for time of use and all sorts of neat stuff. $6,000 list price. Of course, CES was filled with all manner of electric mobility stuff. There were bikes and scooters and motorcycles and anything with wheels and a motor. It was in some corner of the place, as far as you can see. Even what appears to be a full-size Barbie Power Wheels Jeep. Now this is pretty neat. Remember the old Coleman stove? Here's an electric induction version. It has 1200 watt burners, one of which can go up to 22 or 2400 watts in burst mode. Has a 1 kilowatt hour LFP pack on the back that is removable, and also a power station on its own right.
Here we go.
Of course, Eaton had a pretty good looking booth. I love that blue color. They are demonstrating here, right there on the wall, a new home panel with some automatic islanding functioning, smart breakers. Pretty interesting. And they explained to me this sort of power wall looking device will work with that panel and the smart breakers. And there are people VRing everywhere. So apparently this thing has 300 kilowatts per wheel motor. 4 wheels, 1600 horsepower, something like that. It's certainly weird looking. This thing was also super popular. 2-person UAV helicopter that apparently comes with its own Cybertruck van thing that it loads in the back of and charges from. We also took the Vegas Loop for a spin. It's sort of a Tesla-powered subway line that I think is going to eventually get bigger. But for right now, it'll mostly take you back and forth across the convention center campus. And back at the Bluetti booth, remember that dance thing? Well, apparently that didn't happen officially, but it sort of did impromptu. We got a huge crowd going. The DJ kept slowly turning the music up as more and more people came around and were paying attention. And I'm surprised nobody from the show came over and asked him to turn it down. It was quite the thing.
All right, so that's CES dancing at the Bluetti booth. I hope you enjoyed watching.
I'm like a classical customer support, technical support. Did you try to restart it?
When in doubt, reboot.
Did you try to reboot it?